This series of videos is all about helping someone who is used to a beginner method of solving the Rubik's Cube to move to an intermediate method. Hello and welcome to my video for Second-Look OLL. As you probably know, First-Look OLL makes the yellow cross and results in one of 7 distinct yellow patterns. Here they are, together with the probability of each one occurring. So you have a 1 in 27 chance of skipping the second step altogether. This step orients the pieces of the last layer so the whole face becomes yellow on top. However, this doesn't solve the cube as they are unlikely to be in their correct places. That's the job of PLL. Most people learn this step in stages, so I'm going to show you how this progression might work in practice. In the first stage, you can get away with learning just one algorithm, but you may have to apply it up to 3 times, depending on which of the 7 patterns appears after you've done First-Look OLL. This algorithm is used in the beginner's method on the Rubiks.com website, so you may know it already. I call this algorithm the good fish, because when you apply it to this particular fish shape, pointing to the bottom left corner, and no yellow sides on the left face, it solves OLL and all the faces turn yellow. Before we do this, let me just remind you about avoiding cube rotations. If you want to get a pattern pointing in the right direction, don't move the whole cube around like this. Instead, just rotate the upper layer, whichever way you need to. Okay, so we have the yellow fish pointing in the right direction, and we can go ahead and apply the algorithm. And it goes like this: R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. Once you learn this, you can apply it to the other 6 patterns either twice or 3 times. But because each pattern can face 4 different ways, you need to align each of them in the correct way to get this to work. If it is a fish shape, then it always points to the bottom left, whether it has a yellow face here or not. If it is a pattern where only 2 side faces are yellow, then the Rubiks.com website uses a memory aid, which goes like this: I see 2, my left thumb is on you. In other words, orientate the pattern so that your left thumb is on a yellow edge. For all the other cases, your left thumb should be on a side face that is not yellow. This is a slightly different fish shape than the good fish I showed you earlier because the side faces are different. I distinguish between the two by looking at the left face. If there is no yellow on the left face, then it's a good fish. But if there is one, and it'll be here, then it's what I call a bad fish, because you have to apply the algorithm twice. And here we go. Point the fish to the bottom left, and solved. There are lots of different names for these patterns, and the next one is commonly called bow tie. There are 2 yellow side faces, so find the one that you can place your left thumb on and do the algorithm. The fish is pointing there, so do it again. And finally, one more time, and solved. The next one I call side lights, and again there are 2 yellow side faces. So find the one that you can place your left thumb on and do the algorithm. Now face the fish to the bottom left and do it again, and solved. The next one is commonly called headlights. So again, there are 2 side faces. Get your left thumb and apply the algorithm. Point the fish down. And again. And solved. The next one is a cross shape, and I call it the even cross because it's nice and symmetrical, including the yellow sides. Because there are 4 yellow sides, make sure your left thumb is not on a yellow side. So it could be there or there. Then do the algorithm. And the fish is already pointing to the left. And it's solved. The final one is another cross shape, but because of the yellow sides, it's not symmetrical. So I call it the odd cross. Like the even cross, there are 4 yellow sides. So make sure that your left thumb is not on the yellow side and do the algorithm. and solved. So that's what I call the slow way to complete Second-Look OLL, because you have to keep repeating the one algorithm over and over again. When you get comfortable with the slow way and you're ready to move on to the next stage, you will have to learn another quite similar algorithm so that you can cut the patterns that require 3 algorithms down to 2. So let's get our bad fish pattern, and we're going to learn how to solve it in one go. Remember, you can identify it by this yellow side on the left face. First of all, we point it to the bottom right instead of the bottom left, and the algorithm is L prime, U prime, L, U prime, L prime, U2, L. It's actually the mirror of the good fish algorithm, so it's pretty easy to learn. So if we go back to the bow tie pattern, remember IC2, my left thumb is on U. We do a standard algorithm once. That gives us the bad fish. We point it to the bottom right and we go, and it's solved. For the side lights pattern, again, there's 2 sides, left thumb. We do the good fish algorithm once. Now the bad fish is pointing to the bottom right already, so we go ahead with that. And it's solved. For the headlights pattern, again, IC2, my left thumb is on U. We do the good fish algorithm once. Then a U2 to get the bad fish pointing down here. So we've cut those algorithms down from 3 to 2. Once you get comfortable with using the 2 algorithms in tandem to solve each pattern, you can then start learning the other 5 algorithms at your own pace. Before I go on, I just want to point out that there are many algorithms for each of these patterns, and they all give the same result. So go ahead and experiment with different ones. You'll find them all at speedsolving.com/wiki. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you the ones that I use. I do mention some alternatives in my website, which you'll find using the link in the description. Although I've just taught you an algorithm for the bad fish, I actually use a different algorithm in practice because I find it faster. To use this one, I point the fish towards the top left corner and I do R prime, U prime, R, U prime, R prime, U2, R. It's very similar to the good fish algorithm. It also has 8 turns and uses R prime instead of R instead of R prime, and U prime instead of U. So it's pretty easy to remember. Next is the bow tie pattern, which also has 8 turns, and I orient it with no yellow sides on the front or right faces. Front or right. I learned this algorithm by picturing making a figure of 8 in my head, and it goes like this: R prime, F prime, L prime, F, R, F prime, L, F. Next is side lights, and this is another figure of 8 pattern, and it goes like this. So pointing this way: R prime, F prime, L, F, R, F prime, L prime, and F. Then we have headlights, which has 12 turns, and I use a popular algorithm for this one, which means I point the headlights towards me, and I do R2, D, R prime, U2, R, D prime, R prime, U2, R prime. To speed up headlights, you can do some finger tricks, which would look something like this: R2, D, R prime, U2, R, D prime, R prime, U2, R prime. The even cross also has 12 turns, and you may remember that you can solve it by doing 2 good fish algorithms in a row. Now if we write them out like this, you can see that the middle R prime and R cancel each other out. And then the middle U2 and U become a U prime. So that leaves you with the following algorithm: R, U, R prime, U, R, U prime, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. And that is a popular algorithm for this pattern. The odd cross has the most number of turns, 14 altogether, but it's not too hard to learn. We point it in this direction with our side lights, if you like, on the right, and you can twist all the R turns in the same direction and all the U turns in this direction. So let's get it set up, and we go R, U2, R2, U prime, R2, U prime, R2, U2, R. That might sound like a lot of moves, but you can learn to do it quicker by moving the R2s back and forth during the algorithm. So it would look like this: R, U2, R2, U prime, R2, U prime, R2, U2, R. With a bit of practice, you can do that pretty quickly. And that's the end of this tutorial. So you're now ready to move on to PLL. If you found this helpful, please leave a comment or a like. By subscribing, you can get notified of any new videos that come out. So bye for now.